Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar vs. Trevor here. I am with Sam, and we are just here to wrap up some news. I tried to record something like this with Thomas, and we talked about the TIFF lineup, and some of that conversation might be edited in here, but TIFF announced more things, and then Venice announced their lineup, and there's just a lot of things that have happened over the last couple of days as far as news with awards type films, all these types of things. So we're just kind of going to talk about all of it, and it will be fun and chill. And I don't know. Joker 2. A lot of people are talking about it, and I think a lot of people are spreading misinformation, such as one Clayton Davis reporter at Variety who said that Lady Gaga is going supporting. This is the same person who said that that Carey Mulligan was going supporting last year. I don't believe this to be true.
No, Lady Gaga is not. In no world is diva pop icon Lady Gaga going to submit herself as a supporting actress.
Yeah.
Unless she wants to win that badly, which I honestly think she probably thinks she can win and lead. Like, she probably thinks that.
I feel like she would rather lose in lead than win supporting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would genuinely be shocked if Lady Gaga willingly went supporting.
No way.
Which has the potential to go lead.
Anyways, I'm not particularly excited about the film.
No, and so there was the Venice head who famously last year said that The Killer and Ferrari would be at the top of the Oscar race, saying that Joker 2 is like one of the best cinematic achievements of the decade and is gonna be showered with Oscars. And I don't know. I
mean, it could get a lot of nominations. We don't know.
Like,
but
there was a new trailer that came out. I don't know. I'm very highly skeptical of this film as a whole.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think it could be fun, but it could also be a completely bizarre disaster. So,
and like, if someone with a bit of competence was directing it, I think maybe it would be fun. Unfortunately, the man who brought us like fucking The Hangover is doing this.
Right. I mean, this movie feels the first Joker at least, and assuming this is similar in some ways, it just feels like the type of movie that it would appeal to the Joker crowd, like pretty immature. The Hangover crowd, I mean, like kind of immature, young people who don't really watch movies.
Right. It's art house for people,
but
who
are
love
told
The
on
Hangover.
TikTok that it's a very psychological exploration of very important issues or something, and it's just really not. But anyways, enough about Joker. I feel like that movie got enough coverage already.
Yeah, no, I don't know. And listen, I'm always happy to be proven wrong, right?
Yeah, that's what I'll say.
If Joker Folie is for some reason a good movie, I will happily, I'd be happy to enjoy. I don't want to go into a film and come out disliking it. I want to like every movie that I watch. There are just some films that I feel are highly unlikely for that to happen, and Joker Folie is one of them. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about some other trailers for something that I am actually very excited about. Sean Baker's Anora. I am a massive fan of Sean Baker. Love Tangerine, love Red Rocket, love Florida Project. Like, love Sean Baker. And this film, obviously, Palme d'Or winner. It has been the presumptive Best Picture frontrunner for a lot of people. And I mean, I'm excited for it. The trailer is interesting in that
I mean, I wasn't sold on it, but I'm also not opposed to it. Like, I'm just totally neutral with the trailer. It doesn't make me feel anything.
I mean, I was already very excited about it, so
but I think I'll like it. Yeah, I mean,
made me less like it feels in a lot of ways like it has the potential to be his magnum opus with how he deals with like crime and sex work and love and in intersecting all of those ideas together in a very political manner. This film feels like it can do that, and I really want this to be his magnum opus. Like, I want this to be that film for him. But yeah, I don't know. I talked with Thomas a bit about this, and he said that like they could just be using, painting it as a thriller almost as like a marketing thing just to get people in seats. Because I've heard it isn't that. Like, it felt very cold almost in the trailer, and I've heard it.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't really drawn to the trailer, because I thought it was more of a comedy from what I was reading.
Yeah, like this tender play on like almost a rom-com, but like a lot more, I guess maybe political isn't the right word, but a lot more like, I guess, politically charged maybe. and thematically rich than like a standard rom-com. So I don't know, it'll be interesting, but regardless, still very, very excited for this. I mean, any Sean Baker project I'm here for. So another trailer we got was for Edward Burgers. Burger. We'll go with Burger. Edward American Cheeseburgers Conclave. And
It looks good. It gives me Banshees vibes type movie.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like it feels like it feels very like polished, but in an artful way.
Solid, you know. It feels like a solid movie.
Like it like I don't know, and it's interesting to have a very religious, like a film focusing around like religion as like an institution in a very contemporary sense. I feel like when we typically see a film, you know, not necessarily exploring like religion in like a faith-based sense in like the understanding of like theology, but like truly just religion as a societal institution. Typically we see those like historically, I guess, in set in the past. And it's really interesting as this feels very, very contemporary.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I know. And I know you're like more familiar with some of the content of the book, which I'm not.
Yeah. I've read parts of it and it seems really good. Yeah, I don't know how to think of the movie. I could think it's bland, like that seems like a possibility, but
Sure.
Hopefully it's the Banshees type movie with really solid writing and acting. And I think Ralph Fiennes, from what I know, like could win the Oscar, but I don't want to get
good. I mean, so, and we'll talk about with the next trailer. The best actor race is interesting. It's very, very interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, Ralph Fiennes looks like he could be like just, you know, stunning in this, and I think an Oscar would be certainly, I think, overdue considering his career. But like also, I mean, you have the supporting players in this with like Stanley Tucci and John Lithgow that also look like they could do something, and then Isabella Rossellini. So she was barely in the trailer, if at all, and I've heard that her book, like her character in the book, is very limited, but has the potential.
She's probably not going to have many scenes.
But like I don't know. I saw someone say that like she has some bigger scenes in it, like that could potentially be scene stealer.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Thomas and I had her winning, which I mean I don't know.
I really don't know. Predicting winners now just seems completely like baseless.
I mean, it's purely for fun. We don't, and you know, if you're watching the prediction videos, like we have absolutely no clue what's going on. We know as much as you do, probably less, to be honest. Like we're just having fun with it. But I don't know. I think Rossellini as a winning narrative could make sense. Like she's Isabella Rossellini. But I don't know. It'll just be interesting to see how her character, I guess, is utilized. You can talk more if you want.
Bro, I just have literally nothing to say.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have any input really on the Oscars.
Okay.
But I think, yeah, I mean, it seems like she has like 2 or 3 confrontational monologue-y scenes.
Sure. Yeah.
And because she's never been nominated, it could be like, you know, you've been around a while.
I could see at least a nomination.
You're connected.
So it's weird that she's never been nominated, I guess.
But what would she have been nominated for?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, but like, I don't know what she even would have been nominated for. But it's just like she's Isabella Rossellini. It feels like
but the type of movies she makes are not what get nominated. So I don't agree with that really. Like, I feel like she's not the type of actress who would, unless she would do an Oscar bait thing, and this is that. So like,
right. And I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that this could be her thing.
Yeah,
because I think that she's very respected for. Like, again, she's a name. She is Isabella Rossellini.
She's one of the most prominent Nepo babies in all of Hollywood.
Right. Like, I don't know. I think that she's very well loved, and I think a lot of people will think it is weird that she's never been nominated. Again, even though it's not like she's done the films to do it, but just considering who she is and how beloved she is, I think that a lot of people will feel that it's time for at least a nom. So, we'll see. The other trailer, A Complete Unknown, which this is fascinating. So it's James Mangold directed, Bob Dylan biopic.
What was the last good James Mangold film? I mean, Ford versus Ferrari was nominated for Best Picture, but has he made any good film this decade?
I mean, he's made one film this decade,
Oh, I thought he made more.
just Indiana Jones.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have no trust in this Bob Dylan thing at all. I'm sorry, I just don't like. I think it looks really bland and generic, and I don't buy Timmy as Bob Dylan.
It
So
looks like a Oscar bait music biopic. And again, it's interesting. So yeah, like Mangold made Indiana Jones, which is genuinely terrible and one of the worst films I've ever seen. He made Ford v Ferrari, which I don't necessarily care for. And then before that, he made the two Wolverine movies, which Logan is fine.
which again, like, I'm really not looking forward to this Bob Dylan movie, and I think all of the people who are going rampant over it just like Timothy Chalamet and don't really know anything about Bob Dylan. And I'm not pretending.
Again, I like Timothy Chalamet a lot.
Yeah, but
like
I just think
Bob
he's
Dylan a
miscast in a lot of these.
But I
roles.
don't think they're all work. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are just kind of shoving this into their Oscar predictions because it is the shiny new thing that has just come out, and everybody's kind of bored with their predictions already because they started making them in March, and are tired of just seeing the same things. You're like, oh, shiny new thing. This is being rushed to be released now instead of being released in summer of next year when it was supposed to be. And we have a trailer for it, and it's Timothy Chalamet, and he's playing Bob Dylan. And now I think this is like Timothy Chalamet is gonna win Best Actor now.
I think a lot of fan bases, particularly types like Timothy Chalamet's, don't realize that he's way bigger in certain places than others. And like, whenever a movie that he's been in has been really successful, I don't think it's been really ever because he was in it. Like,
I mean, like, if you look at his big box office successes, it's stuff like Dune and Wonka. And like, do I think that something like Wonka doing as well as it did, Timothy Chalamet contributed to it? Yes.
But I don't think he was a main reason. And I think Dune, same thing. And I don't think that he's going to be able to
I don't think that you can say that.
I don't think he's going to be able to make this Bob Dylan movie a big hit at the box office. I don't believe that.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
That's my point.
I mean, we could easily be proved wrong, but it's also not like musical biopics have been hitting.
I guess Bob Dylan amongst this generation, it's not
like I love Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan's one of my favorite artists of all time, but I don't feel like that's
he doesn't have the same.
He isn't an icon like somebody like Elvis was. I feel
no, he wasn't.
I mean, and also this is getting the December release date, which I think is weird. Like, if you look at again films that have specifically been targeting Oscars who skip festivals and release in December,
Avatar is the only thing that can do it because it's that big.
Everything else recently has not gone very well. Like at box office critically with awards. I mean, even stuff that I love, like Babylon, one of my favorite films of the decade. But it just, that flops at the box office.
It's a tough sell. I mean, again, I do think we can be proven
like
wrong.
Like The Color Purple last year.
Oh well,
Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Like, I don't know. Again, this could very easily happen, but I think that people are overly reactionary when it comes to the Oscars, just because it is the shiny new toy on the block.
Yeah, of course.
And then also the film just doesn't look that good. Again, love Timothy Chalamet. I think that he is genuinely a very good actor. Love Bob Dylan, but this just feels so flat and bland. It's about like the controversy when he was like switching to electrically amplified instrumentation, which they're going to try to turn into like a broader social statement. Like it's going to be very cheap and Oscar baity and dumb, and again would happily be proven wrong, but I just am not confident about this film.
Yeah, me neither.
So I don't know. It is also interesting that it's Searchlight, because if we look at Searchlight's awards priorities, it's stuff like A Real Pain and Night Bitch. I mean, do we think that they could go all in on something like this over A Real Pain? Because we had A Real Pain at number 10.
I actually think they're going to prioritize A Real Pain.
I mean, I pushed for that to be number one in Best Picture, and since we made that video, I think that I have been less so, especially after it didn't go to fall festivals like I thought it would. But I know you're making the point that plenty of films have just done Sundance and not went to fall festivals and still gone on to be very successful at the Oscars. But
Yeah, no, that's happened before. And I think A Real Pain is the type of movie that could do that. And also the people in A Real Pain have more industry connections than the people associated with the Bob Dylan movie. They do.
Do they?
Yeah, Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran Culkin are more connected than Timothy Chalamet.
And
James
Edward
Mangold,
Norton and Elle Fanning
I still think Jesse Eisenberg and Kieran
and James
Culkin.
Mangold.
James Mangold is not like a respected director.
I
don't know.
disagree on that. I think that you're underestimated. Like, I think Timothy Chalamet.
I also think A Real Pain, if we're right about how good the Bob Dylan movie is, A Real Pain is going to be a much easier sell. And it's also way less like generically biopic. So it's not a biopic. And they like these sort of indie heartfelt dramas.
Again, yeah. I still have A Real Pain very high. I don't know. I just, and Night Bitch could also just be really, really good is the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we have Amy Adams at number 1. So, which I do think could very easily happen. All right, now into the festival stuff. So we have full lineups for TIFF and Venice. But first, I want to touch on NYFF. So we have the Nickel Boys opening the festival.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. So it's a debut film by Ramel Ross, who literally doesn't have a Wikipedia page. We have Anjanu Ellis there. I mean, she's listed first on Wikipedia, but she's been listed as supporting on places like Gold Derby. So I don't know. We'll see. It's based on a book. It's about treatment of African American students in schools in Florida, I think. Apparently, it's very, very depressing and, a hard watch. I mean,
I don't think this is going to be an Oscar thing.
It absolutely feels like it could be an Oscar thing. It could also end up being like Till, though. If it is just very, because I mean,
it reads that way.
I think Deadweiler's performance is very good and should have obviously gone in, but let's
nothing
not
else
that,
about the
Till,
movie.
Till isn't like a rousing, crowd pleasing Oscar film.
No, and this movie isn't going to make box office.
And I don't know if this is going to be like a crowd pleasing type Oscar film. It feels like it could more be like, purely just a performance vehicle for Anjanu Ellis. And also, though, if you look at previous NYFF openers, it isn't.
May December was the one last year, which
what was it?
It was May December.
Yeah, and before that it was, I think, White Noise and Tragedy of Macbeth.
Yeah, so it's rarely a big Oscar movie.
Yeah. So it's very, very interesting. But also to place that, I wouldn't associate that film with the rest of those three, just based off what I know. So
I guess, but I wouldn't associate them with each other.
I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. And then the closing film is Blitz. Again, historically.
I can't read what this movie's going to be because we haven't seen really anything.
I mean, yeah, we've heard a lot of rumors of internal unconfidence but
it's also is this type of historical drama still what the Oscars want to nominate?
Right. Is this the type of thing? Because Steve McQueen, I think, is a very good filmmaker, but it's not like he's Martin Scorsese or Steven Spielberg that it doesn't matter what they make. They can make a massive historical drama and everybody will still, get behind it for the Oscars. I don't know if Steve McQueen is that type of filmmaker. And I don't know. I mean, you have Saoirse Ronan and Harris Dickinson there, but apparently the lead is a kid and they're just supporting. So I think it's a good sign that it is playing somewhere other than just London. But the fact that it's London, I maintain, if you're premiering at London, yes, I know it's a British film. Yes, I know Steve McQueen is British. But if you're premiering at London, that probably means you were turned down by TIFF.
Yeah.
And even though it is a British film, I don't know why you would willingly premiere it. If you want to do a fall festival premiere, why would you willingly do London over TIFF or Venice or Telluride? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It feels strange. So yeah. I'm still not very convinced of this film, but this is just going to kind of be a wait and see for reactions for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of how I feel personally as well. I really don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know how I feel about it either, because Steve McQueen, I don't know how he's going to be read in this kind of movie.
Yeah, because it feels like, from my understanding of what it is, like, yes, he's done a big historical drama before, 12 Years a Slave, obviously, right? But this feels different. This feels more like action and big and a bit less intimate, I guess.
Mm.
So I don't know. I'm very, very curious.
Yeah, I wonder how it's gonna play out spectacle wise. I wonder if like Saoirse Ronan, like regardless,
Apparently, the
would
budget's quite big too. Like,
yeah, but it might look really digital and slick and
mhm.
and I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I like Steve McQueen. I trust him. It could
I do
probably
too.
it might be really good, but I wonder if there's an audience for this anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be curious.
Hmm.
TIFF.
Hmm.
So we aren't going to go through everything because there's a lot of stuff at TIFF.
But there are
But
some pretty big ones.
yeah, so just talk about some of the bigger things. So um, there's a lot of canned stuff that's showing up there again. So stuff like Anora, The Substance, Bird, O Canada, Amelia Perez, The Shrouds, All We Imagine Is Light. I think See the Sacred Fig was confirmed later, whereas initially it wasn't going, but it was confirmed as like an extra selection.
Mm.
So that's still going there. But then, so some of the premieres, also Rumors by Guy Midden. So excited. Kate Blanchett, very here for it. But some of the new stuff. All right. This is interesting that it's going to TIFF. We Live in Time by John Crowley.
Which one is this? Who's in
This
this?
is the Florence Pugh, Andrew
Oh.
Garfield romance drama.
Oh, well, this seems I mean, interesting. I don't think it'll play out to be anything major, but
Yeah. I like Brooklyn quite a bit.
yeah, this just looks kind of more swampy and contemporary.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I
Like
don't,
Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield will probably deliver good. Like this gives, like, remember Swan Song, that Mahershala Ali film?
yeah,
Like it feels like it'll be a similar vibe to that, and maybe like one of them will get a Globe nomination, and everybody on Letterboxd will be like, it's a solid 3.5.
yeah,
It
yeah.
feel I know that's such a strange comparison to pull out, but I don't know.
No, I see what you mean.
Night Bitch, new Mariel Heller.
Night Bitch, I've read the book. It's quite insane and fun. I wonder how the film will come off. Like, it could easily be a disaster and be totally ridiculous and
And knowing Amy Adams' luck, it will.
but also it could be really fun and interesting. And Amy Adams could give a really good performance.
Like we have
I just don't,
images
I
of it,
just
and it
can't
looks.
read how Marielle Heller is going to adapt it.
And Mariel Heller's another filmmaker where, like, I like Mariel Heller. She hasn't done anything to like blow me away though.
Well, she makes films that are very like adult in tone, and I don't mean like
Adult films that are very agreeable.
agreeable adult films. Like people 60 and older really like her movies.
Sure, yeah. But like, oh, I don't know if I put Diary of a Teenage Girl into that.
Even then, like I still might.
I don't know. I don't know.
It does
But
not feel like a young person's movie at all.
yeah, it feels very divorced from a lot of her previous work, which makes me excited because I do like I've appreciated what she's done, but I've wanted her to delve into something more and do something more, and this feels like the opportunity
It
for her to do
could,
that.
yeah, for sure.
So I'm excited, but we'll see. We'll see. We have an animated film, The Wild Robot.
This could be sweet. It looks cute.
I mean, this just feels, in an Oscars context, like the strong, but very solid number two behind Inside Out 2. That's never going to touch Inside Out 2. But I've heard good early things about this. Like I've, everything that seems from like the animation looks really nice.
Yeah, it seems sweet.
Like I'm sure Lupita, like Lupita ventured out into the sun to do A Quiet Place Day One and is now back to a recording booth. But yeah, I don't know. Could be fun. Could be fun with that one. Conclave we already talked about earlier, but that's obviously going to TIFF.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't it? Okay, one that I'm really excited about. The End by Joshua Oppenheimer.
Uh-huh.
Joshua Oppenheimer, if you are not familiar, excellent filmmaker, made The Act of Killing and The Look of Silence, two of the most stunning films of the of the 21st century.
This definitely looks like a genre type thing. I don't think it'll be awards, but it does look good.
It's not going to be awards, but it's going to be something that I think I'm going to love. It's a post-apocalyptic film about a rich family living in a salt mine converted into a luxurious home. I'm just going to read the Letterboxd synopsis.
It looks cool.
The Earth around them has apparently been destroyed, but their son has never seen the outside world. As a young girl appears at the entrance of the bunker, the balance of the family is threatened. This feels like it could be like Dogtooth, but like post-apocalyptic sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
I just hope it isn't too slick and digital looking like some of these others. Like I just feel like that could be.
That won't be the case with Josh Oppenheimer if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm more confident.
Yeah, no, I think it's. I mean, even just like the images that we have of this so far, like if you pull up the images, like looks great. I mean, Tilda Swinton, good in basically everything. George McKay, I'm excited to see more work out of. Michael Shannon, like, I'm quite excited about this one.
Me too. It looks good and cool.
A couple of other things. The piano lesson. We knew this was showing up here. I mean,
I saw it on stage.
Yeah, I mean it's an August Wilson play.
It's going to be the same way. It's not going to be a good movie, but it's going to have big performances in them, and it's going to
long monologues. Like, I don't know. I feel like for the Oscars, they have been kind of waning on their support of stuff like this. Like with August Wilson, I mean, we had Fences, and then we had Ma Rainey's, which did a little bit worse. I wouldn't be surprised if this did a bit worse. And also, John David Washington is leading it, who kind of just isn't a good actor unless he's in BlacKkKlansman. Like I genuinely haven't really liked him in anything else. Samuel Jackson will probably get a nomination though, just because his name is Samuel Jackson and he's old. But
and he was good on stage. He was the best performance.
Yeah. And like Netflix is going to push him and campaign him and everything, whatever. Right. So, but I don't know. I just personally am not here for yet another incredibly stagey, like melodramatic thing like this.
Yep. And Netflix is doing it, I assume, which means it's going to look really digital and bad.
Yeah, and be forgotten about in like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Piece by Piece is here, which is the Pharrell Williams Lego biopic.
I mean, it could get an animated nomination, probably.
We're getting Lego Kendrick Lamar, which is literally the only reason I'm seeing it. Otherwise, I don't know. Like just what I guess it's, you know, in comparison to something like A Complete Uknown, which we talked about.
Right, it's doing something.
It's doing something.
Yeah, I mean, it might be cute. Like, I don't know.
But this just feels very, very, very weird that this is a thing, I guess, that exists.
Yeah. Also, is it Pharrell Williams, like, not that old? Like, he doesn't need a biopic about him.
I also don't know, how old is Pharrell? He's 51. Like,
yeah, I don't.
I mean, Robbie Williams is getting a biopic made about him as well, which is also going to like a festival or something, and he's only 50.
Yeah, I don't. Whatever.
All right, last few in here. Hard Truths, which is the new Mike Leigh film.
I'm very excited for this movie. I think Mike Leigh is one of the best directors of the modern era, and I think that Secrets and Lies, which he also made with Marianne Jean-Baptiste, is like quite literally one of my top 25 favorite movies ever, and her performance is like probably the best of the 90s with Brenda Blethyn the other lead. So I'm very excited for this. I really trust it'll be great. I don't know if it'll be an Oscars thing because apparently it doesn't have,
and also Bleecker Street.
Right, that's why I'm saying this, but
yeah,
I still don't care. Like, I think this will be great, and I'll love it. So
yeah, no, I'm really excited for it. I've seen a few Mike Leigh. I haven't seen as much as I should, but he's a filmmaker that of what I've seen I like, and I think the more I watch, the more that I will like of him. So yeah, no, always down for more Mike Leigh. And yeah, no, definitely excited about this one. We have The Fire Inside, which is not a Diane Warren song, but is in fact a movie about a boxer training for the Summer Olympics in 2012, starring Ryan Destiny. But then we also have Judy Greer and Brian Tyree Henry in this, and also is written by Barry Jenkins.
Interesting.
So I don't know. This will likely just be nothing. But I have my eye on it purely because Barry Jenkins. So
yep, and he's talented, obviously.
Right. Yeah. This one's interesting. I'm Still Here, which is a new film by Walter Salles, Portuguese director, who you may know from films like Central Station or in The Motorcycle Diaries.
Ooh, okay.
So very, very accomplished director. Like this could be big. it's also premiering at Venice, which will transition to talking about Venice. But yeah, it was picked up by SPC.
That's
like,
good
this could be a
news.
major international feature contender. But even aside from that, like, I'm excited about this. Like, he's a
Me too.
very, very accomplished, very renowned director. So, like,
Yep.
absolutely here for this. And just kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I heard nothing about this before this. So, yeah, no, definitely very, very excited. I think that's pretty much it for TIFF. I mean, there's Eden, which is the new Ron Howard movie with Anna de Armas, Vanessa Kirby, Sydney Sweeney, and Jude Law. And it's about people who abandon society to travel to the Galapagos Islands to find the meaning of life.
Okay, let's move on to Venice now.
So let's move on to Venice. Ron Howard will never be forgiven for JD Vance. Okay. So at Venice, the competition looks very fun. One that came out of nowhere that I am very excited about is the new Helena Rain film. Director of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies has a film premiering at Venice in competition competing for the Golden Lion. It is a career woman in her 40s embarks on an affair with a 21-year-old intern, and it is starring Nicole Kidman, Harris Dickinson, and Antonio Banderas.
This looks so good.
It looks so good. Like, I love Bodies, Bodies, Bodies a lot.
But this seems so different.
This seems so different, but I think that she is such a like, with Bodies, 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 she knew exactly the type of tone that it needed and the type of, you know, atmosphere and like how to pull those performances out of each actor. So if she can take those same principles that were applied to that film and bring it to this is going to be so good. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm really excited. Really,
absolutely.
Really excited. Looking forward to, yeah, I'm Still Here, as I said, is here. Joker is premiering here. We got Maria, which is the new Pablo Larraín. I think it makes sense that it is premiering here.
Yeah, I mean, Angelina Jolie seems to be receiving good buzz for this.
I mean, the last two Pablo Larraín female-led biopics got nominations. Like, don't see why this would be any different. Like, I think absolutely this can happen. I mean, yeah, it's probably the least well-known, Maria Kaya.
I don't think it matters though, because she's the most well-known actress of the three.
Yeah,
so.
no. Well, is she over Natalie Portman?
Yeah, I mean, same.
It's a pointless argument, but
same level of fame, I would say.
Yeah, but anyways, like, she's living in seclusion in Paris, and her health is getting worse. And it's probably going to take place over the course of 1 or 2 days.
It's going to be the same type of thing.
Yeah, but the formula works. I love both Spencer and Jackie a lot, so I'm here for it. Very, very here for it. Well, you know what else is here? Queer. And it is another Luca Guadagnino film, second in the year. All we know, Lee is an insecure man afflicted with heroin withdrawal who is driven to pursue a young man named Allerton. This feels like it could be a very, very personal film for Luca. It feels like it can maybe be his most personal film. It feels like it'll probably, like, even just the one image that we got, it feels like it's going to be in conversation with Call Me By Your Name very, very directly. I'm hyped. I'm really, really hyped about this. Like, Daniel Craig and Drew Starkey, I think, are going to be great. Like, Leslie Manville, I'm excited to see, but like, particularly those two, Daniel Craig and Drew Starkey, like, I mean, this could be like a revelation type performance for Daniel Craig, who I think is already really well liked.
I mean, and this seems epic. It's so long.
Yeah, no, it's like 2.5 hours. Yeah,
and it's 2 hours and 58 minutes. I think.
Is it?
It's like 3 hours.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's going to be a real epic, and it's going to be Guadagnino going fucko mode, which is awesome.
Oh yeah.
So.
I'm hyped. I'm really, really hyped. Daniel Craig could win. Like, we were talking about Best Actor earlier. Like, if you look at that field, like, you have Colin Domingo for Sing Sing. You have Daniel Craig for this. You have Ralph Fiennes for Conclave. You have Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, and then you have like Joaquin Phoenix and Joker. I think it's probably the 5 that most people will have. That already feels likely and strong. Obviously, it is July, so probably like 3 of those are going to be wrong by the time we get to nominations. But still, like, it is going to be a strong competition, which I think is very fun.
Yeah.
As far as a couple other things, we have The Brutalist by Brady Corbett. This film's 3 hours and 40 minutes long. Okay,
God.
I've heard about this film for a while. It's starring Adrian Brody, and it's when visionary architect Laszlo Toth and his wife as Erzsébet, is how I'm going to say this, flee Europe to rebuild their legacy and witness the birth of modern America. Their lives are changed forever by a mysterious and wealthy client. This feels like a period American epic.
And it could be really good or really bad.
Yeah, like that, as it can literally every movie that we talk about.
No, I just don't think it'll be like mid. Like it
Sure,
seems
yeah.
like
I think it will be really good though.
yeah, I think so
I
too.
have very like I mean Vox Lux I like quite a bit. Yeah, that's the only thing that I've seen from Brady Corbett. But like I'm here. I also Adrian Brody getting a role like this that's just like this epic big thing. Like I don't know if you've seen him do something like that since like The Pianist, honestly. So I'm very, very excited. And then we also have The Order by Justin Kurzel, which has a cast of Jude Law, Nicholas Hoult, Ty Sheridan. It's about FBI agents in like 80s Pacific Northwest. And it seems like a very like deeply political thriller
Yeah.
about like the US government and like the I don't know, these different like crime groups and corruption within the FBI. This would have to do a lot, I think, to break into the Oscars, but I'm more than curious.
Yeah. I think it'll
So
be interesting.
then we also have The Room Next Door by Pedro Almodovar.
I'm a little bit skeptical just because I didn't like the short with Ethan Hawke and Pedro Pascal that Almodovar did. And Almodovar is my favorite director, and I think that is literally the worst thing he's made.
Sure.
And this also from the images looks very digital, and I think
I don't think that digital is inherently bad. I think that they're like Portrait of a Lady on Fire was,
yeah, but it's
beautifully shot
you
digitally.
have to really work to make a digital movie look really good, and Portrait of a Lady on Fire is like a rare example. Like most movies these days,
I don't know. I think that if you I think that the problem comes when you're trying to force digital to be like film. I think if you embrace digital
Yeah.
cinematography, it can work. But I don't know. I'm not as like
I just don't like the way modern cinema looks that much.
I think that's being very broad and overgeneralizing.
Yeah, but when you look at the movies that I've seen from this decade and how I've rated them, it's an accurate way to put it.
Sure, I don't know, but you're also only watching typically the strongest films from the past. Like
Yeah, fair,
I,
but I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's a bit overgeneralizing. But.
Okay, I don't.
Okay. But anyways, this film, we got Julianne Moore, we have Tilda Swinton, and it's a mother who's working as a war reporter, and then her spiteful daughter who is a novelist, and it's about kind of their relationship. I mean, it seems very much like Pedro Almodovar bread and butter. I don't.
I think the actresses are gonna get a lot of good buzz.
Yeah, it's interesting. I also heard that Julianne Moore is going to be going lead in this along with Tilda Swinton, so they might be double lead, which is kind of interesting. Or I don't know if Tilda's going to be supporting, but I don't know.
I think Julianne is supporting, from what I've heard.
There was literally a report that just said that she was lead the other day.
I think they might both be lead then.
So I don't know, but I could see this one being very strong. It is SBC. I think that this will almost certainly be SBC's strongest thing. And listen, when SBC sends things to festivals
that are directed by Almodovar,
the actors get nominations, and I think that this could get a picture nomination in the 10.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm quite excited about it. And really, as far as other Venice stuff, I mean, obviously with these festivals, there's always going to be things that
they're the documentaries and the smaller movies.
Huh?
They're all the documentaries.
Oh yeah. No, and like the Midnight Madness at TIFF, like there's always stuff. I mean, there's a thing. So there's Wolves at Venice, which is the new John Watts movie. Who, if you're unfamiliar, is coming off the Spider-Man trilogy, and it's his first one that he's made in a while that isn't the Spider-Man trilogy. And I know it seems like a crime film, and it's George Clooney and Brad Pitt and Amy Ryan. So I don't know if it'll be an Oscars thing, but this is probably gonna be a movie that your dad will find on like Hulu or something and love. And then also Beetlejuice is the opening film, which obviously won't be Oscars aside from like maybe like makeup or production design or costumes or something like that. But I don't know. I like the first Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it's
But
fun.
I
This
don't
could be cute.
understand why we need I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But also there's the new Harmony Korine.
Which I'm excited for.
I'm excited for it. Baby Invasion follows home
I think
invaders shot from
it looks hysterical.
like again follows home invaders shot from a first person
Harmony Korine
shooter
is like
perspective, but all of the people's faces are replaced with faces of babies.
like no one is doing it like Harmony Korine.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, he's the only one doing it like him.
Exactly. He's such a singular auteur.
Also, the score is gonna be by Burial, who's like an electronic dance artist. Like, I'm here for it.
It's gonna be really cool. It's gonna be.
I'm
cool.
so in the pocket for this.
Yeah, me as well.
But anyways, as we were saying, like, there's obviously going to be great things that come out of these festivals that we literally haven't heard of. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
great those example are usually where the best
from Cannes a couple of years ago. Like, I mean, After Sun ended up being for Thomas and I the best film of the year and probably the best film of the decade, and we literally had no idea what it was when the Lion
right. That's the fun part about these things.
That's the fun thing about these, and I guarantee there's gonna be one or two films that become some people's favorites of the year and become mainstays in the awards race that just pop up. Right? We had American Fiction last year that ended up winning screenplay. So
right on.
There's gonna be lots of stuff, but this is just general thoughts and also just talking about a lot of the things that's happened. I think within just awards and awards films over the last couple of weeks, but I think that's everything. I think we've gotten through it all. We'll probably do another video like this in a couple of weeks when there is enough stuff to warrant another one of them. But I think that is it. So thank you everybody for watching. Is there anything that you would like to say other than how much you hate digital cinematography?
I mean, I do think it looks good some of the time. It's just harder for it to look good than film, which I
would generally agree with that.
Yeah. And it's like usually filmmakers these days don't care about.
Like I as someone who wants to go into filmmaking, if given the choice, would want to shoot everything that I make on film. But
yeah, that's totally fair. But no, and I think digital cinematography can look really good. Like Babylon looks really good.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that we are on the same page. It is just fun to make fun of you. So, but that is all. So thank you everybody for watching. You can follow us on Letterboxd if that is something that you're interested in. But until next time, stay safe, everybody, and goodbye.